Salams and welcome in another very, very amazing move. Donald Trump in his first 100 days in office, he's not even 10 days in office. He has made another startling statement which many people in the Muslim world will be happy with, but many other people will not be happy with. In the past few years, we've been hearing the woke movement in America. That means that you can identify yourself. If you're a man, you can identify yourself as a woman just by saying so. If you're a woman, you can say I'm a man, or I'm a binary, or I'm a non-binary. I'm no longer he or she. You must call them they. But Donald Trump made it very clear there are only two genders. There's a male, there's a female. Depending on the sex with which you are born, depending on your private part, you're a man or a woman. Finish. Then he made another very amazing statement. He said, with regard to LGBT, transgender women will no longer be allowed to compete in athletic competitions for females. And I fully agree with that. Let me explain. Transgender female is a man who has changed himself whether to put breast implants, who has now said, I'm a woman, and he will now compete in races with women. But the anatomy is still the same. He's still got the man's private parts. And many women were saying this is very unfair because that man still got testosterone, he's still got big muscles. Just because he's saying I'm now a woman, or he's taken injection for testosterone to a reduction, now he's competing. But the woman was saying, in our change rooms, this transgender woman who is actually a male, he's now looking at our private parts because he's showering with the other girls because he's saying no, he's a woman. But meanwhile, his private parts is that of a man. So on that particular point, I agree with Donald Trump because it is unfair to the woman to have a man competing in their race. And we see this ridiculous thing in America where so many women's races, a man is running with them with a beard. And he's saying, no, I identify as a woman. And this man who's saying he's a transgender woman is holding up a trophy in a woman's cup. So in this case, I agree with Donald Trump where he said, if you're a woman, you're a woman. If you're a man, you're a man. With other people, look, we have sympathy as a medical doctor. I have sympathy for other people who are transgender or who have difficulty identify themselves, whether it's regarding their sexual preferences. Some of them know exactly what they want. Other people need psychiatric help or they need counseling. And some people, sadly, it's very, very fashionable in America. They're using puberty blocking drugs. This is very, very wrong. Anything you do to harm the natural development of a human body is very serious. And another very, very sad case is we have school children in America where the children are being told in primary school, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old children to say, do you identify yourself as you're a boy or a girl? And the poor boy will say, no, I think I'm a girl because I like to wear dress or I like to play with toys. Then I say, don't tell your parents. We're going to help you go to doctors. We're going to give you injections where you're going to develop into a girl. And this was very, very serious because they are preventing the parents from being part of that discussion. So this is happening in America and some Western nations. And as Muslims, we totally disagree with that. So we say that this must be an open discussion. And I'm glad Donald Trump has opened this discussion. What do you think? This is a very controversial topic. What do you think about this whole concept of LGBT? I know in Africa, in South Africa itself, and especially in many African continents, gay life or homosexual life is totally forbidden. It is banned. And inshallah, I will do a program totally on homosexual life and the dangers of anal sex. And our Honorable Minister, Gayton McKenzie, has told us about the dangers in prison. Where youngsters are being raped in prison and sadly they get HIV/AIDS because of anal sex. HIV/AIDS and gonorrhea and STD and syphilis and all the various types of diseases. But let's focus on the discussion. What do you think? When a baby is born, is it male, female, or whatever you think? Do you agree with Donald Trump that there are only two sexes in the world, man and woman? Or can you identify yourself whatever you want to? That's the first question. And the second question, Donald Trump said, if you're a transgender woman, that means if you're a man who's now running a race just because you got breast implants, but you got private parts of a man, that means you can run in a woman's race. But Donald Trump said, no, you cannot run in a woman's race because if you've got private parts of a man, then you're a man. What do you think? Stay well, look after yourself. Let me know your thoughts. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.